Hi all, this is Anjali and welcome to my channel. So today we are going to do a program in Python which says that you have to input two numbers and display the larger or the smaller number. So this program is taken from the suggested list by CBSE for class 11th computer science, specifically for term 1. So as you know that you have to submit a report file, right, in your practical exam. So your whole thing is divided into two parts, term 1 and term 2, where in term 1 we will be having 35 marks MCQs and for 15 marks you will be having your practical. In the practical you have to submit a report file, that means a file which has a number of programs in it, and then the marks will be given for your project work and viva. Now this report file has to have at least 15 programs, you can have more than that, as asked by your school teacher. But right now in this series I'm going to give you all the programs which are mentioned in the CBSE syllabus. So in the CBSE syllabus we have a list of suggested programs. We'll be doing them all one by one in this series. The first program listed over there is input two numbers and display the larger or smaller number. Now if I have to do this in Python, you can code in IDLE, you can code in PyCharm, you can code anywhere you want. So I'm coding it right now in IDLE. So we'll go for a new file. We get this file here. Now the first thing is you have to find greater number out of two numbers. The first task for me is to input the two numbers, right? So your programs always goes in the flow of input, process, output. The first thing is you need two numbers. Now for reading the numbers I have to give some variable names which we call identifiers. It could be as simple as A, B, X, Y, or you can take it a bit meaningful like num1 and num2. So there is no rule on what name we should have, but it should be a valid identifier. Valid identifier means you can't use special symbols, spaces, etc. in a variable name. Only underscore can be used if you want. Digit can't be at the first place. I can have num1 but I can't have one num, right? I want to input integer, so I'll write int input and I give a message like enter first number. So you get your number here. So like this I've got one number. I have to get another number similar way. So we will say enter second number. So you get another number here. So I've got first number, I've got second number. Now I need to check which one is greater. So when the term comes check, when you have to check a condition, then the keyword if has to be used, right? So whenever we have to check something, you have to use the keyword if. It has to be written in small letters. Then you'll write num1 and very simple, the sign greater than, and then num2 we put a colon, and by default your cursor is coming on an indented level. So indentation means that whatever statements you want to execute when the condition is true, it should be tabbed. There should be a space before this. So we have a space here. Now I want to print that num1 is greater, right? Else, if we assume that the numbers are not same, so your num2 will be greater. So we have it like this. Let's save it. So if you save it, let's say I save it as grade 2, and then I'm going to execute this program. So when you execute this program, it's going to ask me enter the first number. I enter 90, the second number is 67. So 90 is greater. Yes, so we get 90 is greater because that is greater. Now you want to run this again. So I click on run, or you can press F5, and this time I enter 78 and 123. So it says 123 is greater. Now, but if you run this and you give the same numbers, you enter 90 and 90, it still says 90 is greater, although the numbers are equal. Now, the question doesn't say that you have to check for equality, but as a programmer, I thought, like, if the numbers are equal, why should I say that 90 is greater? I should say numbers are equal. So, you can have one more condition in between. You can write elif num1 equal to num2. So, if num1 is equal to num2, so we can print that numbers are equal. So, none of them is greater. Both the numbers are same. Fine. So this will give you greater if you have a greater number, but if you have same numbers, it says numbers are equal. And if I give different numbers, like I enter 78 and I enter 98, so it says 98 is greater. So quite easy. So this is how you can find out which one is greater out of the two numbers. For smaller, we just have to put this as a less than sign. So I'll just change this greater than to less than, this greater to smaller, and same way over here. So this will give you the smaller number. So that's how you write a program to find greater or smaller of two numbers. It was an easy one. I hope you understood it well. In case of any queries, feel free to write me in the comments, and if you understood, then also you can write a small thank you to make me feel special that okay, if I'm making something for you, you're understanding it and it is being used by someone. So subscribe to the channel, share this video with all your classmates so that they can also come and join us in the journey of programming in Python. Python, I upload more. Keep watching, keep learning.